Well, the Ford government's plans to remove bike lanes on Bloor, Yonge and University has been struck down by the Ontario Superior Court as unconstitutional. Well, for more on this, we go live to CP24's Arda Zakarian with the latest. Arda.
Jamie, a judge has ruled that government decisions that increase risk to people, particularly vulnerable road users like cyclists, are unconstitutional when not made in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. I'm now going to bring in the city councilor for this area where I'm standing, Bloor and Crawford, city councilor for University, Rosedale, councilor Diane Saxe. Thank you so much, Councillor Saxe, for joining us. We really appreciate your time. What do you make of this ruling?
It's a great day. It is laid bare that everything the Ford government did and all the threats about tearing out bike lanes was based on no facts whatsoever. The court has made it really clear. It is undisputed that bike lanes reduce congestion and save lives, and that everything the court said about it was false. The other thing I really want to notice is how fortunate we are that Cycle Toronto and a whole group of volunteers stood up to attack this completely unjustified piece of legislation and have won this incredible victory. It's a great day.
Minister Sarkaria for the provincial government has released a statement saying they're going to appeal this decision. What do you think about that?
Well, of course they're going to appeal, and that's fine, but Justice Chazes has done a really good job. The decision is very, very strong. And not only that, but the evidence that it relies on was very strong. The province came to this case with, honestly, a pile of nothing. They got a real estate professor to be their expert. And in opposing them were people who really have expertise, who the judge accepted as giving excellent evidence that's based on facts, unlike everything the province did. Fine for them to appeal, but I would be shocked if the Court of Appeal would reverse Justice Chavez. He's written an excellent decision, and it's completely based on the facts.
Councillor, I'm standing in your ward talking to people here. We've been talking to so many different kinds of people too, people who ride their bikes, people who own businesses. Of course, those that ride their bikes really appreciate this decision. They say they feel safer on the road with the bike lanes. They might not feel the same way or might not ride their bikes had there not been these bike lanes here on Bloor, University and Yonge. But then there are some businesses who say these bike lanes hinder our business. One person says he loses $2,000 every month in his business because people can't get to it. The people that are cycling through just cycle through. They don't stop and go to his business. And one person said, can't we come to a compromise that we have bike lanes in the summer and then when they're not being used in the winter, we remove them? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, they are used all year round. We had more than 1 million bike share rides this month alone. And what we saw last year is that bike share use doubled in January. Bikes make sense in Toronto almost all year round, especially with climate change. The winters are warmer. Secondly, while a number of businesses have feared that bike lanes reduce their business revenues, in fact, the evidence showed that the opposite was true. When the Bloor bike lane was put in, the City of Toronto bought the data from the credit card companies as to what the turnover was in those businesses on Bloor. And after the bike lanes went in, it went up. It's true, drivers generally don't stop and just go through. Bikes are much more likely to stop and shop locally.
Councillor Saxe, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. See you soon.
It's a wonderful
and speak to
day.
You soon.
Makes everybody safer and reduces congestion. Thanks so much.
We'll continue to get reaction from the street about what people are thinking about this monumental decision. Back to you.
Thanks, Arda.